legendary. Join us June 27th and 28th as we head to charming Fair Farm for 2 days of mystery, history, and maybe a little chaos.
Whoa!
What the hell?
Live banter, real stories, unexpected moments. If you love the strange, the fun, and the unexplained, this is the one you do not want to miss. Make sure you're following because Banter with Richie B is bringing the energy straight to charming Fair Farm. See you there.
That one is just absolutely beautiful.
There we go. All right, let's go to the big one right here. Right there. Hello. Come on. Why am I not here? What's going on? Why is it doing this to me? It's making me tiny. I want to be big. Okay, it's just not going to let me be big tonight. Let's see. Will this one work? Hey, everybody. This thing is being so difficult. It's like it won't give me a full screen, so I don't know what the heck to do. It's like, oh my gosh. Every time I think that I've got this down, I don't. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. But thanks, everybody, for being here. Tonight, I'm really excited. I have been interested in this topic for a while. With the research that I do, I've always questioned the fact of, is there a possibility of hybrids between mountain lions and bobcats in my area? I've been told no, but when you start digging into different big cat hybrids, you find, well, maybe there's a possibility. Hey, Kurt, how are you? So I'm going to start at the top of the list, though. Rhonda was the first one in. Hey, Rhonda, good to see you. BMO is here. Good to see you, BMO. I'm actually, you're already dropping facts before I can, so I thought that was actually funny as anything. The third person in was Mr. Richie B himself. Great show last night. If you did not catch it, please go to YouTube and check out the replay. It was a great discussion with Mike Tinsley and Kelly Porter from the New Hampshire Bigfoot group, and they did an awesome job. Mike has some amazing videos. Looking forward to Charming Fair Farm this year. Again, I was there last year, had a lot of fun. Got my what the hell moment, and I'm hoping that it happens again this year. That would be phenomenal. Let's see. Wojo, boom. Good to see you. D Hoot is in the house. Thank you, the sheriff. And yes, I have heard of the fishing cat. I actually believe I covered that when I did the cats from around the world episode, because they're really good swimmers. And yeah, they are really cool. And no, Wojo, they are not fisher cats. They are, D Hoot was right. It's a completely different animal. Denny, hi, how are you? And then let's see, John is here. Tim is here. Great to see you guys. BDA is in the house. Had a great conversation with him and Martin on the podcast family little messenger group there. So happy to see Andy. And Andy, I'll be happy to see you even if you don't bring moonshine. Okay. It was always good to see you. Hey, Mickey, how are you? Kelly Porter's in the house. Thank you for stopping in. And of course, I did say hey to Kurt W because he just popped right up as I was doing my opening and finally got to where I could actually be seen with it not being so tiny or not at all. So, yeah, so tonight's topic, I wanted to discuss hybrids. When I was setting the whole thing up, Sam made the mistake of thinking that I was just talking about Pumapards. And actually, I wanted to discuss all hybrids. I did send her a photo of a Pumapard for the thumbnail that she does because she is an amazing executive producer. She comes up with, oh my God, the thumbnails that she does for me are just fantastic. I use half of them for profile pictures and stuff. She does such a great job. But anyhow, yeah, with it, I wanted to kind of cover it all because when you talk hybrids, a lot of times, you think this is, recent over, the last 30, 40 years. But if you deep dive into it, you'll find out that this stuff's been going on in the 19th and 20th century, long before I even, knew anything about hybrids. Hey, Zuli, how are you? Adam, my brother from another mother, you're my little brother. Love you. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so with it, I just want to explain that I don't agree with with creating these hybrids. A lot of these and most of these are actually created in zoos or by people that just decide they want to try to do this stuff. There is no biological or conservational reason for doing it. It's all for money and publicity. And it's just, in my opinion, wrong. But when you start looking into the stuff, it was really interesting, because when you, the first documented hybrid, when I looked into it, it's kind of controversial though, because it says it, but when you go to look further into it, you can't find anything on it. So, but it does say that the first documented big cat hybrid was believed to be a Tygon, and it was given to Queen Victoria as a gift in 1837 by the Princess of Jamnagar, India. And so I was like, wow, because, that's very interesting, because I didn't even know that they were doing stuff like that back then. Everybody's saying, hi, I love this group. I love this family. This is such a great family. Everybody's so cordial, and just everybody loves seeing everybody. This is fantastic. So yeah, and it's like, while the Tygons made their debut in the 19th century, Ligers did as well. And Ligers were actually documented in, let's see, I will pull up the Liger stuff. By a gentleman in, I think it was 1897. It was a German gentleman who actually, what he liked to do was he actually enjoyed trying to crossbreed these animals for zoos. He thought it was one of those things that, it made him money. I'm trying to find his name, because I have a ton of notes. I have tons of all this stuff. And we're going to go over not just the big cats, because I find the hybrid thing actually extremely interesting. And there are natural hybrids that happen in the wild that I find that are very fascinating. And there's one that has happened in my state, which I found even more fascinating. And I was able to pull up the incomplete document on it with the DNA analysis and stuff that they did. So I have a question mark from Bart. Hey, Bartos. Are you asking, what's the question mark for? Are you new? I would say hi. This is a show on ghost cats and cryptids. If you're into like Bigfoot, mystery cats, different things like that. Yes, Adam, I will explain all of that towards the end. I just wanted to cover the ones that are most talked about, because the Liger actually hit extreme popularity in 2004 due to the movie, which a lot of people consider a cult classic. I did not like it, so a lot of people may not like me for that. My son loved it, which was Napoleon Dynamite. But yeah, with that movie and the mention of the Liger, it just skyrocketed the popularity of these big cats to an insane point. And it was just, it's Carl Hagenbeck in Germany, who actually, he owned a private zoo, and he ended up breeding the first Liger that was documented. And then from there, it kind of snowballed with other big cat species and stuff. So let me see if I can pull up a Liger for you so you guys can see, and a Tygon. And there is actually, I'm going to show you, because once you have this stuff, okay, because I think it was, I can't remember who it was I was talking to last time, but they were like, oh, well, when you do these hybrids, they're sterile. Well, technically the males are sterile, the females aren't. What the hell just happened? Hello? Wow. Restream, what the heck just happened? Everything went black. Restream is being weird to me tonight. It just like kind of shut me out. Can everybody hear me? Can I get a check from somebody if you guys can still hear me? Can anybody hear me? Okay, it's good here. All right, good. I just want to make sure because, yeah, literally everything, my monitor, everything went black, and I was like, what the heck? And then Restream come up and said that, yeah, there was something happened, and yeah, I was like, wow. Okay. So yeah, the thing with that is, and I'll go over it, is the females are fertile and they can conceive. The thing that about that is though, when you start breeding them again, you're creating more hybrids. It's not, just a liger or a Tygon, So let's see what I can pull up here. Images. And, oh, hold on, being a pain. And let's see if I can. It's not letting me do a split screen, so I don't know. I'll see if I can make me smaller or something. How in the heck can I do this? Is it gonna? There we go. There we go. I'll just take me right off there. Right there. Well, that's a Tygon. Sorry, it's a Tygon. It's not a liger. These pictures are so darn small when I'm trying to pull them up and stuff. But it's a beautiful cat. The issue with these, though, and the same thing with ligers, is they are actually almost twice the size of what a normal lion or tiger would be. They're born with gigantism. I can't even say it right. BMO, this is when I need you. Hey, Sam, how are you? Yeah, and that's the issue with the ligers. Let me just see. Okay, I'm going to just take you off here. Can I do it? Why won't it let me take? Why can't I remove the picture? Why is it not letting me remove the picture? Oh my gosh, this is just being absolutely nuts tonight to me. There we go. Come on. There we go. Remove. Restream is driving me nuts. Images. All right, let me see what I got here. Image. Supposed to be image 3. Oh, there we go. Finally, it's going to do the half and half screen, or maybe not. There you go. There's a liger right there. And yeah, they do. The issue with ligers is because of the size, because they actually, the contrast to these guys is they're like, tigers are about 450 to 500 pounds. These things can weigh up to 900 pounds and 8 to 9 feet in length. So when you have that kind of body mass and you're continuing to grow, it ends up just slowing your heart down because it's such heavy weight. Organs start to give and stuff. And it's sad because, they're beautiful animals, but why would you do that? To me, it's like, why would you want to end up creating something that you're actually, it's more harm than good to the animals and stuff. And they're beautiful. But like I said, once you start getting to the point, I'm going to remove this and pull up the chart, because where it was letting me do that screen, I'm hoping that I can get this chart up even more so. Oh, it's not in that one, but we'll do another. Let's see, which one is this one? It's not the chart, but these guys, I brought in a bunch of pictures just because, there's the chart right there of, the lion, the tiger, and then you get, the ligers. And then when you start mixing them again, you get different breeds, and it just ends up being a big mess. That's all it is a big, big, big mess. Yeah, because they're a mixture of both, and like I said, they're beautiful. And with Tigons too that I found, one of the pictures I want to put up, because with Tigons, even though the they they can still get like that little bit of a wispy lion mane. It's not like a full lion mane, it's just kind of like a little scruffy thing. And I think that is really neat. But I mean, it just goes through a lot of these different things, and it's crazy. Yeah, the mixtures are beautiful though, but it's just to me it's just, is it worth it? I mean, the animals just seem to, I mean, yes, they're gorgeous, but it you have to wonder though, I mean, just for the amount of time that they're around, is it worth the whole thing? Let's see if I can find let's see what this one is, because I've got, like I said, I've got a ton of photos this time around. Yeah, right here. Oh no, yeah, this is the leopard lion one, and they get the little wispy things, because there is 16 distinct hybrids, but there's up to 35 different types of hybrid big cats. It's crazy the amount that these guys do this stuff, and a lot of it is because of the fact that the female hybrids can breed, so they continue to breed them, and they end up with all kinds of different strange stuff. But these guys, I thought it was cute because, you know, they've still got, like, it's not a full mane, but it's like this wispy little thing, and they're big too, which, unlike, you know, BMO pointed out earlier on in the show, before I was even on, that, you know, the Pumapards end up, when they're born, they end up with dwarfism. BMO throwing out the facts. I love BMO, I really do, because if there's something I don't know, I love it when BMO jumps right on it, and BMO has all the answers to it. Yeah, it is. It's not good that they do this stuff, Rhonda. I agree wholeheartedly. But yeah, it's like, because there's like a list. Okay, I have a list. I'll go through. This is just 10 of them. Like I said, there's like 16, but they breed. Okay, so you've got your ligers, you've got your Tigons, but then you have your your ligers, which is lions. And let's make me big again. This thing is driving me nuts. I don't know why it's doing this. This is amazing, BMO. Yeah, I'll just leave it the half screen. But they breed, they do hybrid jaguars, leopards, tigers, leopards, lions, leopards, panthers, leopards. Let's see. Yeah, leopards, tigers, pumas, leopards, pumas, ocelots. Then there's cheetah hybrids, which I was having trouble finding. So BMO, if you know of any, please throw those in there. Yeah, I do. I go to the library too. I mean, I deep dive, and it was really nice being able to do this, because, like I said, this topic has always been interesting to me, and I had stuff already on hybrids. But when you decide to do a show on this, or anytime I do a show on something, I end up going down rabbit holes, and it's insane, the stuff that I start getting a hold of. Because then you have like the smaller cats too, that are bred. Like I like Savannah cats. I wanted to get one years back, but Savannah cats are actually hybrids. It's a African serval and a house cat. Bengal tigers are ocelots and house cats. I mean, there's all kinds of different ones that are bred that are wild cats with domestic cats. It's insane. The Wildcat Sanctuary does a lot of stuff with the hybrids. They have a lot there. They have it where you can adopt them, but they stay at the Wildcat Sanctuary, because they don't agree with any of this stuff, just like I don't. There's no need of it. They said it's reckless and stuff. And a lot of the stuff, though, at least with some of the hybrids, it's all on purpose, but there have been accidents of hybrids as well. And you can say accidents, but I just don't see how they forgot not to separate the two cats in order to. Yeah, see, it's okay, cool. Thank you. Because it says that there's cheetah hybrids, but I couldn't find anything on cheetah hybrids. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm not wrong that there's none in existence. Yeah, so it's just, it's insane. Like all of the stuff that you can find on the stuff. There's just so much that you find on, like, the first documented on different stats of the hybrids and stuff. And the reason that I wanted to do it, like I said, was because I always wondered, is there a possibility? Could this actually happen? Because, you know, I do believe that we have mountain lions in the state. They said there's no breeding population, but if you talk to any of the wardens or even the state biologist that I talked to, he's from Texas, and he was like, I've never seen bobcat so big in my life as I have here. Which always put to mind, well, could there, and they will tell you straight up, no, because they're different species of cat, so it cannot happen. Yeah, they do with bears, Zuli. Actually, I'm going to cover that in a little bit, because there are actual hybrids that happen naturally in the wild that I find fascinating. I've got some of them. I mean, there's more than what I have listed for the show tonight, because I'm trying to keep it. I don't think this show is going to go an hour because of the fact that this is a very it's to me, it's a controversial topic. Because of the fact that there's a lot of disagreement with hybrids, me being one of them, but other people think that it's an awesome thing that's going on. But when you look into the documented stuff, the first documented Pumapard hybrid was officially bred in the 1890s. And the first documented record took place in Britain. And it was... let's see. Well, it was the most notable. There was also ones that were specimens in Chicago as well. And that was in 1895 that one happened. And that was part of Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. That one happened on April 24th, 1896 at an indoor arena in Chicago where twins were born. During an opening season of the circus going around. Dogs like paws even. Oh, wow. That's wow. That's cool, Beamamo. But yeah, so, and then again, the gentleman in Germany also bred the Pumapards later on as well and stuff. And I have photos of them. And yes, they do have dwarfism. So they are smaller. They go opposite of what ligers go, and Tigons, they go the complete opposite. They have stout bodies, but extremely short legs. So let's pull some photos up of these guys if I can, if this will let me. Right here. Okay, come on. There we go. And they're adorable, but I just feel really bad, and they have a very short lifespan. But that is a Pumapard. And yeah, you can tell it's got dwarfism. It looks like a juvenile, but they're just very, very small cats. And yeah, the gentleman in Germany bred several litters of them. Hi, No Drama, Bigfoot and Cryptids. Welcome to the show. I'm glad that you're liking it. This is a topic that's always interested me, and I find fascinating and yet scary all at the same time. But I thought it was one to discuss and then like I said, I wanted to kind of cover everything, not just the cats themselves and stuff. But I'm going to see if I can pull up another image of a... This one is a Puma ocelot hybrid. Right there. And that one was a zoo that did that. And that one was actually in the Guinness Book of World Records. And I'm trying to remember, it was 19 something. It was actually more recent than any of the others. If I can figure out where that one is. Because I did have something on that, but like I said, I've got a lot of paperwork on this, and I do have the Guinness Book of World Records stuff too, because there's jag lions, there's all kinds of different stuff, and I can't figure out where that is. But that was actually more recent. BMO, since you're right there and you're so handy with stuff, can you figure out what year they were first documented? Because I believe it was like, it was more recent than anything. It was, I want to say, within the last 30 years that this was actually a hybrid that they created. William, hey, thanks for stopping in. And these guys are, like I said, they're beautiful cats, but there is no purpose at all. Okay, so there are at least 16 distinct documented big cat hybrids and over 35 theoretical or highly complex multi-generational ones. These are all created in captivity, as these specimens do not exist or interbred in the wild. And then it goes over, the hybrids of the liger, male lion, female tiger. And then you've got the tigons, male lion, female, generally smaller, exhibiting dwarfism due to growth and expectations of the lepon, which is a male leopard and female lion. Yeah, so it's kind of like all the same stuff, but they're very rare when it comes to a lot of reports on the stuff. And like I said, I find it kind of wrong and ironic and kind of cruel. So I want to move on to ones that I found were interesting that actually happen on their own in the wild. And there are several different ones, but I kind of kept it down for the show because I thought that it was a cool topic. But there, like I said, there's a lot of natural hybrids that happen and stuff. 1993. Thank you. I thought it was 1992, but I wasn't sure. It was 1993. Thank you, BMO. Oh, Ms. MA is in the house. That's how I'm going to say it, MA, because it is so much easier than saying the other. Good to see you. So yeah, so when it comes to the hybrids in the wild, some of these happen naturally, and it's just due to, circumstances going on. Like the what they call the growler bears, or they call them, I like the other one, Prisleys, which is a combination of a grizzly bear and a polar bear. And that's because of climate change. And with climate change, polar bears had to, move downward, and it caused overlapping territories happening, and they started breeding with grizzlies. And the first confirmed specimen, DNA specimen, was found in 2006, and subsequently generations actually have been observed now. So it's really, really cool in a way that, there's natural hibernations. It's sad that, the polar bears had to move because of the climate change and different stuff. One of the ones that most people do know about, and it was on here along with other ones that go with it, but coy wolves, the eastern coyote and the wolves, because at one point they did a big reintroduction of wolves to the eastern U.S. And whether though I keep being told there's no wolves in Maine, but they're saying that there was a big reintroduction. And yeah, well, that's the thing with the with the bears, is because polar bears are like, I mean, people are scared of grizzlies, but polar bears have been known to be one of like the baddest ones. And and you put the two of them together. I've always liked Kodiaks. Kodiaks are massive and I think they're beautiful, but do I really want to come across one? No. I've seen videos with people on Kodiak Island just by the water fishing and just kind of enjoying the ocean thing, and having a Kodiak with bear go by with cubs, and they just keep going. And yeah, good nickname for Richie. That's great, William. And I'm thinking in my mind, that is just like the most beautiful sight, but I'd be froze terrified thinking, oh my God. And the bear just never paid any attention whatsoever, which is just insane. It's absolutely insane. One of my favorite bears from the movies was Bart. Bart passed away a few years ago, but he was in a ton of movies. And he actually, most of the movies he was in, he was called a grizzly, but he was actually Kodiak. And he starred in The Edge. He was in Dr. Dolittle. He was in The Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. He was in Bear, the Bear movie. He was in a ton of movies, and he was just absolutely gorgeous. And I got to actually meet a gentleman at one of the hunting shows here in Maine about 15 years ago, who had a Kodiak. I cannot remember the name of the bear, but I took pictures. The thing was massive, absolutely massive. And he was chewing on like a giant dog rawhide. It was just insane. See, I love bears. Bears are, I know I do my mountain lion stuff, but bears are my favorite animals. Like I said, I blame Grizzly Adams for my love of animals. Actually, I don't blame him. I give him all the credit in the world. Dan Haggerty and Don Shanks. I just absolutely loved that show, and Ben was like my absolute favorite. And I fell in love with animals, and that show actually taught a lot of respect. You respect your territories, you respect what's around you. You just don't kind of take over like everything else does these days. Well, that Zuli, that could be a possibility. I literally cannot say it wouldn't. I mean, because Kodiaks are in the same region and stuff. So I like Winnie the Pooh. That's funny. I'm gonna pull up a picture of one of these polar grizzlies for you. The Prizzles. I like the Prizzle. The Prizzle's funny. All right, so let's get down here to images and see how beautiful this thing is. All right, attachment. Hopefully this is right. All right, now I got to make sure I know which one is which. Should be number 2. So hopefully I may have to click back and forth because I have a couple different ones and it said number 2 is what I needed, but we'll see. Nope, that's not the right one. That's a different one. We're going to remove you for a second because you'll come back up in a second because that's a hybrid, but we're not talking about you right now. And this is what happens when you're on live. Come on, give me the right one. That one. Let's try this one. There we go. There's the big one. And this is all, these are hybrids that are natural. Yes, this one is in a zoo, but This is what they look like. And they're big. They are biggins. But yeah, it's nature finds a way. Oh, I'm doing fine. Thank you, Joe. No, it's just, yeah, the pictures when I know Sam said the same thing when you're trying to look the things up, they are so, so tiny and you're trying to click on them. And I thought that I had it listed right, but I did not. And thankfully, I was able to find it the second time around. If not, there was only 4. So you guys would have seen everything, but I would have taken them off until I was ready to talk about the other ones. But yeah, so this guy is, or gal, I don't know which one, but this is a natural hybrid. This does happen in the wild. And this is one of those fascinating things. And yeah, I don't know. It's in a zoo. I can tell it's in a zoo. I don't know which zoo. This came off of one of the websites that I had for this stuff. It was one of the pictures that I've got's got the name of it on there because I try to keep the names up above the things because they're not mine and I don't want to get yelled at about copyright and stuff. But I also don't keep them, so it is somebody else's photo. I always give credit and stuff. So. Yeah. Thank you, Rhonda. That is hilarious. So we're going to remove you. But yeah, so the next one that I was talking about was one that everybody, has heard of, which is the coy wolves. And I was explaining all that. But then, you've got coy dogs and then you've got wolf dog hybrids because for years people have, I think Richie has a question. Richie has a question for me. Did I miss a question? I've been trying to keep track of all of this. I don't see anything. Sam, does Richie have a question for me? Or Richie, do you have a question for me? It says, I think he has a question pinned for you. Because I don't see anything. William's having a field day with the Prizzle. The Prizzly. But yeah, because I know for years when I was growing up and stuff, people were doing the breeding of the wolves and the hybrid wolf dogs and stuff. And there was a lot of controversy on that because most people were like, you've still got the wild, the wolf in it, which is unpredictable because they're wild animals. And a lot of people did not think. Okay, how do I find pinned comments? Because I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing a damn thing. I'm going to put that up. There we go. I am not seeing anything. I don't like zoos, in all honesty. Because a lot of times these animals are brought in. I like sanctuaries that try to help. Okay, question. No, there's no, I have not seen anything where they say they're more aggressive. I have a more aggressive demeanor. Richie, sorry about that. I could not see that. I have no idea what the hell. They're all animals, but all big cats are unpredictable. I haven't seen anything where it's a more aggressive or less aggressive personality change wise. It's usually has everything to do with like body size, whether they're they're bigger, the lifespans, the dwarfism like in the Pumapards and stuff. But all big cats are unpredictable, so it's hard to pinpoint if a hybrid would be more so than not. And I haven't seen anything that focuses directly on that. Yeah, it's like, I mean, I follow a lot of sanctuaries. I don't follow a lot of zoos. I was kind of upset with the one that I went to here in my state in a while back because they have a few mountain lions up there, and I wanted to talk to them about, their behavior and stuff. And I did talk to a very, very nice gentleman. It can be, yes, they can have mental issues due to that, which can impact their personalities. That's like the lions there of Savo. But it's not, just because they're a hybrid doesn't mean that it's any animal can have a defect that can cause that. But even if it doesn't mean that a hybrid's going to have that. So it's just kind of one of those things that, to me, and just in my opinion, BMO, that, it can happen, but it's not something that is expected that it's going to happen. So it's hard to determine, to say for sure that, oh yeah, because it's a hybrid, it's going to be more aggressive. I just can't say that. Yeah, it's similar with inbreeding, because there's just different, with inbreeding, you get different genetic defects and stuff, and it can affect, the personalities, but it doesn't mean it will. It's just one of those things that's why I say animals are unpredictable. And there is an aggression with big cats, and there is always the possibility that, it can be aggressive, but it's just, it's hard to pinpoint if it would be just because it's a hybrid, or with the inbreeding. With inbreeding, there's just a lot of, I know with like the cats out west in the Upper Peninsula, with the inbreeding, it causes a lot of health issues and different things. See, that's out of my realm. I don't know anything about, I mean, I've heard stuff. I don't know anything about were-tigers. I was on William's show a while back too, and they were talking were-cats, and that's out of my realm. I had not even heard of those before. Hey, Jessie B, how are you? So yeah, with now getting back to, because like I said, I kind of go off point sometimes, and I don't mean to. Yeah, well, see, William, and see, now I'm off topic again. When I went to the place up in the mid Maine, to the place up there to see the mountain lions, when I was talking to the young man, he was very, very helpful. They had a niche who at the time was 13 years old, and they have to, do blood samples and stuff. They have to go through state guidelines and have the things, they have to have them checked all the time. He said that, and you could actually take Anicha's paw and bring it out, and she was just as mellow as could be. I went to see Loki, who was at the time 6 months old. He was the newest one. I was not happy when I asked about Loki, how Loki came about to the shelter, because they actually purchased him from Ohio, which it means that you can still purchase the big cats, even though there is a big cat law that says, they ban the sales. But because this place is considered like a sanctuary in itself, they were able to. And when I was there to talk to him about like the sightings that we have in the state, because I was like, when people have sightings, so they call in. He says, we get calls all the time asking if one of ours has gotten out. And he looked right at him, and he would tell him, he's like, no. He said, you would know if it was one of ours, because they're used to being fed by people. So they're going to come to you, and they're going to just walk up to you expecting that, you're going to feed them. They want food and stuff. And he's like, so I try to explain that, yeah, no, it's not ours, because it's not going to run off on you. It's going to actually walk up to you, because they're used to being around humans. Oh, wow. Yeah. So back onto the koi wolf and stuff. I do have a photo of that as well. I just wanted to pull up stuff. This show is going to go over my allotted time just because I find this stuff interesting. Hopefully this is the right one. It looks like it. Thankfully for that monitor, I could actually see this one better. Do. Come on. There we go. You're coming up slowly. Wow, this is taking forever. And this is the koi wolf. But they're common. I mean, we've known about koi wolves for a long time. And it is a natural hybridization. I find that the dogs and wolves, they are considered something that will happen in the wild too. But then you have people that actually just decide to breed them. Didn't something similar happen with a human and a monkey? But yeah, because then you get into, again, with some hybrids, it's just a money game. It's greed. And there is no need of it at all. So we will go back on to the next one, which you guys have already seen. And this one was one that I found interesting when I saw it because I had no idea. There's a lot of different ones. And then the last one is I've known for years and I absolutely love it. And if I could have one, I would have one in a heartbeat. But we're going to go to this one first so that we have, we can bring it up for Rhonda there so she can see her, strange little cat whale thing. But this is a wolfen. Come on, pop up. Why are you not popping up? Pop up. Thank you. These, though, are extremely rare. And and it's just due to the fact that there's a vast difference between like the territory and the species. But the first natural documentation happening of a wolfen happened on, was recorded August 2017 off the coast of some Hawaiian island that I can't pronounce. Kauai. And it's a wild hybrid that was confirmed. There was no lab at all. Hey, Jason, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, it's that's where the other one came from. They all came from the animal database. There we go. See, I knew I left it on there. The koi wolf, the polar bear, grizzly hybrid. But yeah, and I was just like, this is the strangest thing ever. But it has happened in the wild naturally. It's rare, but there was one that did happen in captivity in Tokyo in 1981 in SeaWorld Tokyo, and that one died within 200 days of being born. So yeah, that is, like I said, yep, it's a crossbreed between a false killer whale and a female bottlenose dolphin. I didn't get a chance to get that in. I love BMO. It's like I'm trying to drop facts and he's dropping the facts first. Dropping the facts first. Yeah, that one it does look creepy, but yeah, I mean, it's just, but you know what? It's all nature. Yes, thank you, BMO. BMO is awesome, but I just think that that's so funny. Hi, Michael. How are you? All right. And then the last one is one that I've known about for years. I think it's absolutely adorable. And let me pull the image up here. Right here. We have a zonkey, which is a zebra and a donkey. There are also hybrids of zebras and horses. Zorses is what they call them. But yeah, these things are absolutely freaking adorable. And the one thing I learned, because my daughter used to have donkeys when she was younger. We got them because she had a horse that we were in the process of adopting, and she took care of it for several months. We were trying to get the fence all built up, and the woman that had it decided to sell it out from underneath us. And my daughter was devastated because this horse was an old race horse. And oh my God, are you kidding me? Again? I just got kicked out again. I need to do my research on werecats. Okay, I will make a note of that. William says werecat research. Here we go, werecat research. All right, you got it, William. They are absolutely adorable. And I'm getting really tired of Restream kicking me out. Yes, it's a zonkey. And like I said, there's zorses, which is zebras and horses. But when my daughter ended up with the donkeys that we got her, we ended up getting a bunch of books on, because we knew how to care for them. The vet came, and after a while, we would just go to the vet's office and pick up the shots, because there's a triangle on the side of their neck. You have to put the shots in directly in the center. So we would just do it ourselves instead of having to have the fee of them driving all the way out. But with them, we didn't realize that donkeys are actually from Africa, and they do not deal with cold weather. And there are a lot of donkeys up here. So in the wintertime, we got them blankets. We made sure that they had their proper shelter and stuff. And yeah, she used to take out little cones and walk it around. It was so good. Where's the dog? The cat. But yeah, it's just, this stuff is fascinating. So now we're going to get to, and I don't have any photos of this, but I'm going to take the zonkey down. I'm sorry, Cutie Pie, but you got to go bye-bye, because now we're going to get to what I found extremely fascinating. And I really wish that can I get bigger? This half screen thing is driving me nuts. Nope, now I'm even tinier. All right, never mind. I'll go over here. Wow, this is really crazy tonight. All right, I think I'm going to leave it just like that. So I found that in my state, which I thought was fantastic, there are natural hybrids that have happened in the wild. And I pulled up all the documentation on it, and there is a lot. This is like a 15-page little assessment that the U.S. Department did in wildlife ecology, because they have confirmed DNA of hybrid Canadian lynx and bobcats in Maine. State and federal agencies have established that these hybrids, called blinks, exist in the wild, typically resulting from a female lynx and a male bobcat. Okay. In August of 2003, DNA testing of hair and tissue samples by the USDA Forest Service confirmed Maine's first known lynx bobcat hybrids in the Moosehead Lake region. And I was like, wow, see, this is fantastic. Not that, there's hybrids, but it happened naturally. Okay. There was also DNA evidence and a field sighting in Maine that proved that hybrids can be fertile, because there was a female hybrid that was observed with 3 kittens. So I was like, this is, so it's not anything. And we're not the only ones. Minnesota also was another state that had gotten confirmed DNA of a hybrid lynx and bobcat. So that was, something that was extremely interesting. I am trying to find, because I did have notes and I don't know what I did with it. Because there's a hybrid and I cannot find it in my notes, and I know I had it in my notes. Okay, right there. Tell Richie to keep his pants on. He's so demanding. Laugh my ass off. Oh, that is, wow. Papa Squatch, hey. Papa Squatch. I have no pants on. Okay, well, I think that's TMI, Papa Squatch, but I'm glad that you filled us all in. Oh. But yeah, there was one that was interesting though, because you've got, your big cat species, and then you have your small cat, your wild species. Pumas, mountain lions, cougars, whatever you want to call them, they actually fall under the small cat breeds, because they don't roar. Okay, they don't have the throat structure of the big cats and stuff. But there has been hybrids of puma leopards. Okay, what science found kind of fascinating about that, and they're very rare, but it has happened, is the fact that they are separate species. So for them to be able to give birth to a hybrid, it's amazing in itself. So what I always get, and the point that I'm trying to make with this is, yeah, there's bird hybrids. There's all kinds of different hybrids that happen in the wild. I don't know, because that's a regular cat. I'm assuming that there's something in there, because they're much, much larger and they're fluffier. And usually the cats like that, they usually are. I cannot say for sure. But let's just Google here. Okay, that's why I have my phone on hand too. Why should BMO have all the fun? And oh, okay, let's see. No, it says they are not hybrids despite their large size. So no, they are not. I know the Savannah cats are, Bengal cats are. There's other ones too that they breed with and stuff. But what I'm finding though with the pumas and the leopards, there, like I said, it's extremely rare. There's a lot that are extremely rare because it just takes, I guess, precision or whatever, which I don't have the patience, and I wouldn't even do it, because I think it's very unethical. But what I'm trying to figure out though is if it can happen, can it happen with a mountain lion and a bobcat? That's all I'm saying. They officially will tell you no, but if you're lonely and you know how cats can be, hello. Yeah, they are 100% purebred. They're just, for some reason, they are extremely large. Some of them are really, really large. I have a rescue cat that I swear is part Maine Coon, just from the size alone. Oh my all-time favorite cat. And so, it's just one of those questions in my mind. Even though the state says no, I still have to question it, especially when you go over all of this, research on hybrids. And yes, most of the big cat ones, actually all of the big cat ones have happened in captivity. But except for the smaller cats, which mountain lions fall into that category. They are the largest of the small cats, but they don't roar. They act like a house cat. You can look up videos and you will see them playing with stuff. I mean, you can look at sanctuaries. They put all kinds of different stuff out. Yeah, as far as I know, they cannot, but I just still have that question in my mind. It's always going to be a question in my mind. It must be. William has. Yes, there have been bobcats and house cats that have interbred and stuff that you can actually look at. There's, like I said, there's a lot of natural ones in the wild that happen, and that is one of them that they will list. But it's just one of those topics, and I always have that question in the back of my mind, and maybe they can't, but it's just one of those things that I would really, I would like a direct, I want to know answer, instead of going, well, they're two different species. They can't do it, when you're finding out that there's a lot of stuff out there. Sorry, but a false killer whale and a bottlenose dolphin, if they can do it, why couldn't others, and I mean, they're extremely rare because their territories are different. It's just, yeah, there is just a lot of different stuff out there. And like with hybrids too, because I've put up pictures before when I do my talks. I don't think I have it with me. Oh, yes, I do. Ha, ha, ha. I will show you this, because this is one of my things, because I always was told that if you see mountain lion, the number one mistake for a mountain lion is a deer. And this is a woman in British Columbia who actually, this is the same exact area, same exact spot, got the pictures. And I've always said, going, driving down the road at an umpteen amount of speed, you're going to get that. So when I actually got a hold of the woman to see if I could use that photo of it, she said it was a black-tailed deer. Somebody else used it in one of the southern states on one of the other things, and the person was like, well, who does this photo belong to? And he says, I don't have a clue. So I put in there that I knew who it belonged to. I had the photo, I had her name on it, and he asked me to share it, so I did. And he said mule deer, and I said, she said it's a black tailed deer, and he said they're the same thing. And it's like, no, they're not, because they're actually there's actual hybrids of blacktail and mule deers. And I went out again. Are you kidding me? Can you guys still see me? Because I literally just went out again. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for coming in. So glad you got a chance to stop in and see the show. And then there's also hybrids of mule deer and the black-tailed deer along with white-tailed deer. So, I mean, it's like, hello on the app as well. Hi, Kelly. So yeah, it's, when you're looking at things, I was like, oh, okay, I was wrong. She told me it was this, and it's supposedly a mule deer. They are, they can be hybrids. So it's not the same. There are two different species, but they can be hybrids. So I thought that was actually kind of cool when I was looking up the stuff, and they were talking about the hybrids that, that happen naturally in the wild, which is something. When I was doing this, I was like, well, there's got to be something. And I knew about the polar bear grizzly hybrids and stuff. I did not know the names until for that one until then. And I still like the Prisley. Oh, that's weird. Cause like literally all of my screens went black. So I'm glad you guys could still see me and hear me. But yeah, I was at one point I was about ready to throw a fit. So you would have been like, seeing me all like flipping out. But so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm going to end up closing up. I do want to remind everybody to tune in Tuesday night for Wojo Show, Home of the Boom. I don't know what he has planned, but hopefully I know it will be something awesome. It always is. Wojo is just completely awesome. Then we have Sam's Pretty Paranormal that will be on 9 p.m. Friday night. If you did not see her show the other night, please check that out. It was a ladies' night. It was so much fun. I did not talk much, which William kind of laughed at me for that. Because he was like, yeah, you're talking too much. But paranormal creeps me out if anybody knows me. So I will stick with my cryptids, my big cats and Bigfoot, something that can rip me to shreds. But it's my fault because I'm in their territory, probably pissing them off, even though I'm trying not to, because I do research respectfully. I do thank them for letting me in the area. I try to be as nice as possible. Night, Zuli. And then Saturday night, of course, it's the flagship show, Mr. Richie B, Banter with Richie B, and his co-host Wojo. And I will be back next Sunday, and I'm hoping to get back out to my research area, get some more photos. I'm going to move some stuff around. And I want everybody, thank you, D-Hoot. Night, Tyler. So good to see you, Jason, John. Everybody have a great night. And remember, when it comes to research and just life in general, it's always good every now and then to say, what the hell? So what the hell? Night, guys. Bye.